Hello and welcome back everyone. Today I've got another D&D video for you as we jump back into Explorer's Guide to Wildemount and into the world of Exandria to take a look at the arms of the betrayers. Before I jump into D&D Beyond and we have a look at the arms of the betrayers, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and the little bell next to it, if you tap that, then you'll get a notification when I upload another video. We've already looked at the vestiges of divergence in the last video. If you want to see that, the link will be in the description to that video, and I'll put a little card which should come up around about here. So go over, have a look at that, but today we're going to jump into D&D Beyond and we're going to look at the arms of the betrayers. So the arms of the betrayers are similar to the vestiges of divergence, but I believe they're just the evil version. They're from the, it says there, so they're from the souls of fiends by the betrayal gods of the human champions. So it's sort of like the evil end of the spectrum when it comes to these legendary items. I believe, I haven't actually looked at this is my first look, but I believe it's similar in that it's dormant, then whatever's after dormant. Dormant, awakened, and then exalted. Yeah, it's the exact same as the vestiges of divergence, but it's their evil counterparts. So let's have a look. Okay, so let's start from the top here. So betrayer artifact properties. So there's a little paragraph here, and it seems that they get minor beneficial and minor detrimental properties when they're dormant, and then more and more as it. Oh, okay, so it uses the artifact properties, which is a random roll table basically in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So it uses them to add a little bit more flavour. I like that, that's good. That's pretty cool. It does mean that you as the DM have to do a little bit more work to add these to it rather than just using it straight out of the book. But if you want to just use it straight out of the book, then that's fine as well. Okay, so it's also got some rules here of how to destroy the artifact. And then a random roll table here. Let's see. Okay, so these are basically quest lines. So the weapon must be bathed in ichor of an archdevil or demon lord. That's obviously extremely hard to do, and not everyone's going to be able to do that. So the idea is you go on a little quest to destroy the item. That's very nice. So if you're not experienced DM, it's probably extremely useful for you to get an idea of what you can do to get a weapon destroyed if they need it. So this one here, number 5, the weapon is destroyed if devoured by Ukatoa. So Ukatoa is like a big sea monster, basically, a giant sea monster that in campaign 2 of Critical Role, Ford is his patron for the first part anyway, no spoilers, but it's his patron. He is a warlock. So that's pretty cool, that's a little nod back. Okay, and then Lux and Beacons are also in Campaign 2, so there's a little nods to them there as well in number 6 there. I like that he's added this bit here. It just gives you a bit of inspiration for a little quest line if they need to destroy the item, which is very nice. Right, now let's just move on straight into the Blade of Broken Mirrors, which is the first one. So it's a weapon of Ferristoon, who I believe is the god of madness and stuff like that. Maze-like pattern. Okay, so it is sentient, so it's a chaotic evil weapon with very high stats. It has hearing and dark vision. The weapon communicates telepathically to its wielder and can speak, read and understand abyssal and common. Okay, so some really fun roleplay bits for you as a DM now then. That's cool. And then it also goes into the personality. Okay, so it's insane, which is good. The weapon yearns for chaos. Very nice. Okay, cool. I like that. So it is a dagger. I forgot to mention that, but it does say there that it is a dagger. Let's see what it does in its dormant state. So you can speak, read, and write abyssal. Always nice to have an extra language, unless you already have abyssal. +1 bonus to attack rolls, damage rolls with this magic weapon. Okay, very simple. Immediately after you make a ranged attack with this weapon, it returns to your hand. Okay, so we said in the last video there's the key that has a similar property. That is something that pretty much every rogue wants, is the ability to have a dagger return to your hand so you don't have to go pick it up. So that's always very nice to have. Whenever you kill a humanoid with an attack using the item, the blade remembers the creature's appearance. While holding a dagger, you can use an action to change your form to match any humanoid the blade remembers. Okay, so it changes your form to match. So that's not an illusion, unless it goes... No, so that's... You actually change your form, which is very interesting. Your statistics, other than your size, don't change. Any equipment you are wearing or carrying isn't transformed. Okay, you can revert back, and it reverts back automatically when you die. Okay, I like that. When the blade attunes to a new wielder, the appearance of the humanoids it has killed are wiped from its memories. Okay, that's interesting. So it's because it's not an illusion. Like, you actually turn into that humanoid, which is very interesting. Let's have a look at the Awaken then. So goes to a +2 weapon, which is fine. That's always nice. While holding the weapon, you can use your action to cast one of the following spells: Fabricate, Hallucinatory Terrain. Okay, so these are all illusion spells, I believe. Oh no, that's a transmutation. And then illusion. Okay, so it's giving you some transmutation and illusion stuff throughout, by the looks of it. But yeah, they're fun. I like Major Image, which is... Yeah, I like all of them. That's good. Right, so Exalted, the weapon comes +3. Saving throw DC for spells cast with a weapon also increases, so here it's 15 and it goes up to 17 there. While holding the dagger, you can turn invisible as an action. Anything you are wearing or carrying becomes invisible. You remain invisible until you stop holding the dagger, until you attack or cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw, or until you use a bonus action to become visible. Okay, so that is pretty powerful, because that is basically you're invisible forever, which is pretty cool. Just like the One Ring. Yeah, I like that. Exalted, when you get to the Exalted, it's supposed to be extremely powerful. And at this point, I don't think at any point he's put what sort of levels you should be waiting for to get these, but I would imagine this is 15 plus, basically. Let's get on to the next one. Grovel Thrash. Okay, so it's made of obsidian. Oh, I like that. Look at that. That is very nice. Little skulls in the front. I do like when a weapon has art with it. It helps a lot to visualise what it should look like, and that is very cool. So Torog. I can't remember who Torog is. I'm guessing... yeah, but put in the comments who Torog is again. I forgot which god he is. I'm assuming he's an evil one. He's one of the betrayer gods, but yeah, I can't remember which one he is. Maybe he's the Crawling King, I think it's called. But yeah, remind me in the comments. Right, so this one's also sentient, so it has a bit less mental stats than the other one. It can communicate telepathically, abyssal, common, and infernal. So personality, Ultroloth, I think is how you say that, is in there. The weapon values material possessions and doling out pain. It compliments its wielder whenever they claim treasure and take pleasure in harming ever. Once again, I like this bit here, that it gives you an idea of the personality, and sometimes where you can add it to the roleplay with that last sentence there. So it's very, very well done, Matthew Mercer and whoever else has put this together. Okay, so in its dormant state, you can speak, read, write, abyssal, and infernal. Once again, good to have some more languages. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you hit with an attack using the Warhammer, you can do an extra 2d6 bludgeoning damage to the target. If you do, you take 1d6 psychic damage. The Warhammer deals double damage to objects and structures. Okay, I like that. I've seen that mechanic somewhere before, but I can't remember where. You can always do 2d6 bludgeoning damage whenever you hit, but as a repercussion, you take damage. I've definitely seen that somewhere before. It might have. I don't think it's in any of the official Wizards of the Coast products, but I do like that. It sort of. Yeah, because 2d6 is obviously better than 1d6, but is it worth it? Maybe you're low health, maybe you're not very risk heavy, but yeah, I like that mechanic. It gives you the option as well. It's not a definite, it's you can, it says there, so it's not like you're forcing the player to take damage. While holding this weapon, you have advantage on insight checks made to discern a lie spoken in a language you understand. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like I would understand that more if I remembered who Torog was, but I don't. But I'm guessing he's something to do with lies, I guess, from that. But that's also quite handy to have. So let's go down to Awakened then. So you get +2. You gain a burrowing speed. So I'm guessing that. Yeah, so I'm guessing he must be the Crawling King then, because I believe the Crawling King is the one that burrows and is like a giant worm, if I remember. But yeah, you get a burrowing speed equal to your walking speed. You can use your burrowing speed to move through sand, loose earth, mud, or ice, but not solid rock. I don't think there's anything that gives a burrowing speed so far in the game, other than if you become a Earth Elemental as Druid. But if I'm wrong, do correct me in the comments. But I don't think there's anything that gives a burrowing speed, so that's quite interesting that this item gives a burrowing speed. When a creature can see within 30 feet of you hits an attack while you're wielding the Warhammer, you can use your reaction to deal an amount of psychic damage to that character equal to the damage you took from the attack. Okay, so that's like a Hellish Rebuke style reaction. It doesn't. Oh yeah, it does say you can use your reaction. Yeah, so it's similar to Hellish Rebuke. It's pretty powerful that it does equal to the damage you took. So it essentially, if you get hit by something really big, you can instantly make it itself, basically. Let's have a look at what Exalted has for this then. The weapon's bonus to attack and damage rolls increases to 3, so pretty simple stuff. When you have fewer hit points than half your hit point maximum, the Warhammer deals an extra 2d6 bludgeoning damage on a hit. I like mechanics like this because when a player has this and they get below the half health, it makes them continue fighting, and that makes everything more interesting. They're less likely to run away because they're now thinking, well, I'm doing an additional 2d6, so maybe this last hit will kill it. So I like mechanics like that, so that's very nice. You can burrow through solid rock at half your speed, and you leave a 5-foot diameter tunnel in your wake. Wow, okay, so there is quite a lot of implications there then. So you can burrow into buildings, essentially. You could go under and then get your whole party into the building. I like it. It could be completely abused, but I like it. It's very different. It will definitely make whoever is wielding this item feel special. I'm just going to scroll up as well and have a look at what sort of backlash there is for having an Exalted on. So Awakened and then Exalted gains 1 major beneficial property. Okay, so it doesn't actually get any detrimental. Okay, so it gains. So it's still got the detrimentals from. So it gets 1 detrimental in Dormant, 1 detrimental in Artifact, and then 1 major. So at that point you have 2 detrimentals. So I'm thinking so far, really, if you can deal with this voice, it's not actually that bad to have one of these, but I guess it depends what those detrimental ones are that you're rolling for or choosing on the table. Right, let's go down to Lash of Shadows. Ah, very nice again. Look at that. I would freak out if someone was coming at me with that one of them. Look at that. I also really like that how pink their mouths are in the art as well. I don't know why, but it just makes their teeth and their mouths even more scary. So, right, let's see what it does. So, Powers of Sahir, which I believe is the god of the Yanti and stuff like that in this world, and it has 5 animated serpent heads. So it is sentient, has some good mental stats again, it has a dark vision and hearing, communicates abyssal, common and draconic, this one. Personality. So let's see, it's short-tempered and experiences only extreme emotions. Okay, once again, that's a very good sentence for you to be able to get an idea of what type of, I guess, person is inside this item. It is most happy when dealing harm. So once again, evil.
In its dormant state, you can speak, read, and write Abyssal and Draconic. You get a +1 bonus damage to attack and damage. You can attempt to poison any creature that is hit by the whip with a DC 13 Constitution save, and one of the following poisons of your choice. Once a poison other than serpent venom has been used, that poison can't be used again till next dawn. Okay, so the poisons are Dead Eyes. A creature that fails to saving throw is poisoned for 1 hour. While poisoned, the creature is blinded. Okay, that's different. Blinded for an hour. That is pretty nasty. And in Serpent Venom, if it fails the saving throw, it takes 3d6 poison damage or half as much. And that's the one that you can use again. Okay. I would have liked to see more than 2 there, especially as that first one is really flavourful. I would have liked to see maybe 5 of them here, but there's no reason you can't create more if you want to see more than 2 as well. But yeah, it would have been good to see more than 2 different types of venom there, especially when there's 5 heads. It would have made sense to have 5 different ones in there, but that's fine, it's still pretty cool. So in its awakened state, it goes to +2, the DC goes to 15, and the weapon gains a new poison option. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, so it's just another poison option each time by the looks of it. So called Ghoul's Blood. A creature that fails the saving throw against the poison is poisoned for 1 minute. While poisoned, it is paralysed. Wow, okay, this is a nasty item, and this is not very nice at all. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect in this way. And then I'm assuming, because up here it says, once a poison other than Serpent's Venom has been used, that poison can't be used again until the next dawn, so you can't stun lock someone, basically. You can't keep on paralysing them over and over again. Okay, that is still pretty nasty though, especially so you can blind one person, you'll paralyse another one. Yeah, it's definitely nasty. So, Exalted, the weapon gets +3, DC 17, and a new poison option called Cockatrice Tears. I guess it's going to petrify someone. So, a creature that fails to save a throw against this poison begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It must repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. On a success, the effect ends. On a failure, the creature is petrified for 24 hours. Once again, pretty nasty. This one you do have to fail 2 saving throws, which obviously makes it a bit harder, but the DC is up to 17 at this point. The fact it petrifies them for 24 hours is quite funny, because I think, with experience with my players, as soon as someone becomes petrified, it's all mayhem. They need to quickly find a way to get them unpetrified. So the fact that that's 24 hours, I can imagine everyone getting really panicked, trying to work out how to get them unpetrified, and then they start on a little quest to take them to the nearest city to see the cleric or something like that, and then 24 hours later they just become back. I guess if it's the Exalted state though, you might have someone in your party who has a way to deal with petrification. I believe Greater Restoration does. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, you might already have a way to deal with that. But it's still pretty nice, and it still takes them out of the fight for a little while until someone has to use their action to get you back in the fight. So that's good. I definitely like the visuals of this one, and I like the flavour. It is definitely comes across as an evil item, which, is the point. So, Mace of the Black Crown. So, Fiendish Countenance. Okay, so this is Asmodeus' weapon, which is the Lord of the Nine Hells. Oh, look at that little horn down here. That seems like it would probably be inconvenient, but it looks cool. Right, so let's see what it does. So, Sentient again. It's got some good stats. Same dark vision. Can speak and understand common and infernal. So, inside there is a Irinyes, I think is how you say that. Wants to recruit more souls for Asmodeus. So the weapon pushes its wielder towards lawful evil actions by manipulating the wielder's dreams. Okay, so that's interesting. So they've added that this one talks them in the dreams and manipulates them. A former Blood War general, hates demons and relishes crafting relishes crafting sound battle plans in any conflict. Okay, that's cool. That's different. So they're saying this one's going to play with the wielder's dreams and also likes to craft sound battle plans in conflict. As a DM, you could try to help your players in combat with that, maybe. Have her shout orders saying, get in this position. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, maybe you could help them a little bit with that. But yeah, once again, I like it. I really like that he's added this personality section into the book. So that helps a lot. Let's have a look at what you can do in a dormant state. So you can speak, read and write Infernal. You gain +1 to damage and attack rolls. While holding the mace, you can use a bonus action to speak its infernal command word, causing flames to erupt from the head. These flames shed a bright light in a very large radius. While the mace is ablaze, it deals 1d6 fire damage to any target it hits. The flames last until you use a bonus action to speak the command word again, or until you are no longer holding the mace. Okay, so basically that's 1d6 fire damage for free, which is nice. Looking at this art as well, I can imagine it erupting in flames up the top here and looking all awesome, so that's good. While holding the mace, you can use your action to summon an imp. Cool. Once again, lots of roleplay opportunity here for the DM then. Any devil you summon with this mace is friendly to you and your companions for the duration. The imp obeys any verbal commands that you issue, and it returns to 9 hells 10 minutes after you summon it. Okay, so it only lasts 10 minutes, so it's a very quick one and done, and you can't use it again until the next dawn. Awaken, so it goes up to +2, the fire damage goes up to 2d6, and you can now summon a bearded devil, so that's pretty cool. And then you also have resistance to poison damage. So an imp isn't probably going to be useful in combat situations, but maybe for like scouting they can go invisible, so that's handy, whereas bearded devils are a bit more better in combat. I don't think they're challenge rating 3, so they're not bad. By the time you've got an awakened item, I would guess you're around level 10, so a challenge rating 3 little guy probably isn't the best, but it's still cool. And once again, as a DM, you can add some fun roleplay elements there. Exalted, so the bonus goes up to +3, the fire damage goes up to 3d6, fire damage dealt by the mace ignores fire resistance. So I believe fire resistance is the most found resistance in the game across all of the monsters, so that's quite cool. The weapon summon devil feature can also be used to have a barbed devil, which is challenge rating 5, so it goes up a little bit again. Once again, by Exalted, you're probably coming to the higher levels, so a challenge rating 5 probably isn't too great. You have resistance to fire, so you end up with resistance to poison and resistance to fire. Okay, cool, I like it. I'm guessing I didn't read the flavour text at the beginning of the Arms of Betrayer section, but I'm guessing each of these are a weapon and related to a different Betrayer god, because all of them so far have been different weapons. There's not been like a ring or I don't know, a headband or something like that, so I'm guessing they're all going to be weapons. Right, Ruin's Wake. This spear is made of ivory bone of an ancient gold dragon and carved with an orc hymn to Grumsh, even not Groomish, Grumsh. I like that little bit of flavour there, so it's made out of the ivory bone of an ancient gold dragon. That is very nice. Sentience, so it's got some good mental stats again, and then you can talk Abyssal, Common and Orc. Personality, it's a Baylor, okay, interesting. Desires only to draw blood and pushes its wielder to solve problems with violence. Okay, once again, I like that from a roleplay standpoint. Can imagine it being like the devil on your shoulder, always telling you to attack the problem. I've got one player in one of my games that I imagine would love this item, and every time it says go on, do some violence, they're like, yep, okay, and go along with it. So, okay, that's cool. So you can speak, read, and write Abyssal and Orc. You get +1 to damage rolls. You deal an extra 1d8 piercing damage to the target. Immediately after you make a ranged attack, it flies back to your hand. Ah, cool. So this is like a returning spear as well. I'm assuming it's a spear. It's definitely a spear. As a reaction, when you are hit by a melee attack, you can make a melee attack with the weapon with advantage against the attacker. You can't use this as a property again until you finish a short or long rest. This is definitely a barbarian weapon, isn't it? So it's just all about full-on attacking, and that's pretty much it. Right, so Awakened goes up to +2, and then you deal 2d8 extra damage. When you hurl the spear and speak a command word, it transforms to a bolt of lightning, forming a 5 feet wide that extends out to creature 120 feet, so that's a very long way. Any creature in a line excluding you must make a DC 15 Dex save, taking 8d6 lightning damage on us. Okay, so that's I think they're the exact same numbers for the lightning bolt spell actually, so I'm guessing that's where they've come from. And then it still returns to your hand. This probably can't be used again until next dawn. That's pretty cool. I like that. So yeah, it is like a lightning bolt spell, but it just looks cool. It looks much more flavourful coming from a spear like that. Exalted, so it goes to +3. Okay, so interestingly the damage doesn't go up from 2d8 on this one, it just goes to +3. While you're holding the spear, you can let out a battle cry as a bonus action. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you gains advantage on attack rolls until the start of your next turn. This property can't be used again until the next dawn. Okay, so Yasha, from Season 2 of Critical Role has a similar ability to this, which I believe is from her class. She's a barbarian. I forgot what the subclass is called, the one which sort of lightning-y and stuff. But that's always helpful, giving all of your allies advantage on attack rolls is always very nice. When you reduce a creature to 0 hit points with an attack from the spear, you can regain hit points equal to the damage you dealt. This probably can't be used again until dawn. Okay, this Exalted one here is a little bit less impactful than the other two. It's very good from a mechanical standpoint, being able to do a battle cry and give everyone advantage and regain hit points, but it just doesn't feel as cool as being able to throw this and turn it into a lightning bolt. But it's, yeah, from a mechanical standpoint, it's still very useful. But yeah, it's just not as awesome, you know. Right, let's go on to the Silken Spite. So this is a rapier. Okay, so it's Loaf, who is the Spider Queen and worshipped by Drow. Let's see what the Sentience has. So has not as good stats as some of the other ones. And then it has Abyssal, Common, Elvish and Undercommon, so you get quite a few. So down here you gain them as well, so you get quite a few languages there. The weapon speaks in whispers, pushing its wielder to trust no one and to kill those who cause the slightest personal offence. Okay, so that's interesting. That's trying to lead the player to madness, which is always good fun, especially if you get this in the hand of someone who's good at role-playing and happy to go along with this. It can be quite fun. So you speak, read them, like we said. The dark vision goes out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision and attuned, it goes to another 60 feet. Okay, so you get some dark vision, +1 to attack and damage rolls. You can use an action to cause poison to coat the rapier's blade. The poison remains for 1 minute or until an attack using this weapon hits a creature. That creature must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 1 hour. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the creature is also unconscious while poisoned. The creature wakes up if it takes damage or if another creature uses action to shake the creature awake. Okay, so poisoned condition isn't too bad. It gives you a disadvantage on it says here actually, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So it's pretty nasty, but it's not like the end, but
if you fail by 5 or more, you become unconscious. That is much more nasty. I quite like it when mechanics do that. So if you hit this number, you're poisoned, but if you hit this number, you're unconscious. It gives it a bit more depth. I quite like. I know 5th edition has tried to make it all simple and all on one sort of level, but stuff like that, I think more should be introduced into the game, really. While carrying the rapier, you can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings, like a spider. You have a climb speed equal to your walking speed. Additionally, you can't be caught in webs of any sort and can move through webs as if they were difficult terrain. Okay, so that fits in with Lolth the Spider Queen. Let's have a look at Awakened. So you get +2, the DC for the poison is 15. While holding the rapier, you can use your action to cast one of the following spells. So it's Cloud Kill, Darkness, Levitate, or Web. Very Drow-like spells. Once the spell has been cast, it can't be cast again till next turn. Okay, nothing overly awesome in there, but it'll do. Exalted, so it goes to +3. The DC for the poison goes to 17. Magical Darkness doesn't impede your dark vision. Okay, so that's cool. One of the Vestiges of Divergence did that in the Dormant stage though. So again, that Exalted stage is a bit meh, but it's still a good thing to have. While holding the weapon in dim light or darkness, you can use your bonus action to teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space. You can see there's also in dim light or darkness, this property can't be used again until the next dawn. So that's a feature that the Shadow Monk gets at a relatively low level as well, and I believe they don't have this, so they only can do it once per dawn. They can just keep on doing it. So all in all, I think this is probably the weakest one so far. If there's any sort of creative ways I'm not thinking of how you can use some of this, do let me know. But yeah, I think this is definitely the weakest one so far. Let's go on to the Bloody End. So Power of Bane. So Adamantine Morningstar. Okay, I can't remember which one Bane is. I can't remember which god Bane is. I believe it's god of like war and strength and stuff like that. Okay, so there's some good stats here in the sentience. Okay, so the personality, the weapon pushes wielder to subjugate others and to never back down from a challenge. If the wielder doesn't demand fealty to others, the weapon is happy to demand it on its behalf. Okay, that's interesting. So that is basically saying this weapon will happily talk to other people and shout at them. So you can get into some pretty bad situations with that, which is interesting. Let's have a look at what the stats look like. So you can speak, read, or write Infernal, +1 to attack and damage rolls. While holding Morningstar, you can use your action to do one of the following spells with DC 13, so Charm Person, Dominate Person, Fear, all good spells. While holding the Morningstar, you have an advantage on Intimidation checks. Okay, so nothing overly complicated there, all pretty straightforward and some nice stuff. When you go to Awaken, the bonus becomes +2, the DCs become 15, and when you reduce a creature's hit points to 0 by using an attack, you can cause the following effect. Each creature of your choice within 15 feet must succeed a DC 15 Wisdom save or become frightened. This probably can't be used until next turn. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. So basically, you brutally kill someone and everyone becomes scared of you. I like that. When a creature hits you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal 1d6 psychic damage, so sort of like a Hellish Rebuke style thing. When the Morningstar reaches an exalted state, it gains the following properties. +3, so you can add Dominate Monster to the list, which is also a very nice spell. The DC goes up to 17. When you use your reaction, it becomes 2d6. Okay, so once again, nothing like awesome there, but just some nice mechanical benefits. And there's a picture of a sun for no reason. I'm guessing it makes more sense why that sun's there in the book. Right, and then the last one, Will of the Talon. So this is a war pick. Okay, we don't get many magic war picks, so that's quite cool. There's a magic war pick, and it is Tiamat's. It's got some low mental stats here, the Sentience, Draconic and Infernal, as well as Common. Right, so personality,
weapon is greedy and values strong leadership. It demands that its wielder take decisive action, to keep order in high pressure situations, and to always take a fair share of treasure in return. It's very dragon-like qualities there, which fits in with Tiamat. Okay, so in its dormant state, you can now speak Greed and write Draconic and Infernal, get +1 to attack and damage. As a bonus action while holding the war pick, you can cause the following effect. Each creature of your choice that is within 30 feet of you is aware of you, must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turn, ending the effect on itself. If a creature's saving throw is successful or the effect ends, the creature is immune to your Frightful Presence for the next 24 hours. Okay, yep, so that's Frightful Presence, as I just said. It's a dragon ability. While holding the war pick, you can cause your action to exhale, why can I not say that? Destructive energy. There you go, that's better. Pick a damage type from the Will of the Talon Breath table, which is this one below. Each creature in that area, or in the area, that makes a DC 13 saving throw. So basically, you get a breath weapon that does 3d6 damage. And then you've got acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. So there are 5 chromatic heads of Tiamat. Awaken. This becomes +2. The DC becomes 15, and you deal 4d6 instead of 3d6 with the breath weapon. The DC for the Frightful Presence goes up, and while you're carrying, you have resistance to all of them. Wow, okay, so you have resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison, not just one. That's pretty good. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that's very nice actually. When the war pick reaches Exalted state, you get +3. The DC of the breath goes to 17, and you now do 5d6, and the Frightful Presence goes up to 17. So it just all goes up a little bit. Nothing overly exciting. I really like this, so you get resistance to all of them. I guess if you're a Totem of the Bear Barbarian, then that doesn't really matter because you've already got resistance to all of that. But if you're not, that is pretty nice. So there you have it. There's my first look at the Arms of Betrayers from the new book Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. If you liked this video, please do give it a like. It helps me out. And if you want to see more like this, just subscribe and then hit the notification bell next to it. So going forward, because we've done both of the Vestiges of Divergence and we've done the Arms of the Betrayers now, so I'm going to go and have a look at these new subclasses which are in this book. I can't remember what they're all called. I remember there's one called Echo Knight, but once again it'll be a first look. I haven't looked at them at all yet. And then after I've done them, I think that'll be everything I do for the Explorer's Guide of Wildemount. There will be more videos coming out after that, but I think that will probably be the end of me looking through this book. But if you like this, give it a like, and until next time, happy gaming.